Okay, people. So I stumbled upon this new documentary on Disney Plus. It is called The Last Repair Shop, right? It's the last repair shop. And I think one of the things that really interested me in this was Kris Bowers, right? He co-directs with Ben Proudfoot. Um, The film is produced by Jeremy Lambert, Josh Rosenberg, executive produced by Terry Tang, Jason Spriggan Koff, Jane Solomon, Peter Reuter, Ben Proudfoot, Sharon Matthews, Leslie Lindsay, Brianna Henry, and Kris Bowers. Actually, Bowers and Proudfoot also produce. It's associate produced by Jessica Q. Chen, and co-executive produced by Shani O'Hilton and Nani Shahara Walker. Kris Bowers and Katia Richardson handle the music. David Feeney-Mosier is on cinematography, while Nick Garnham Wright edits the piece. Beatrix Brown, Rachel Ernst, Gabe Gotti, and Rachel Greenwald all help out on the film as well. And we follow Dana Atkinson, Patty Moreno, Dwayne Michaels, and Steve Bagmanian, right? The gist is this, right? We follow 4 unassuming heroes who ensure no student is deprived of the joy of music. It is also a reminder of how music can be the best medicine, stress reliever, and even an escape from poverty. So that's it. And, you know, Bowers was the interest because last year we had the fantastic Anthem, right? Which was just so freaking good. Now, that film was obviously Bowers didn't direct that one. That was Peter Nix. But Bowers produces and he also stars in it because we follow him and DJ Dyer as they travel around America looking to create a new national anthem. And that was, I really enjoyed that. So I was just like, okay, let's see what Bowers does this time. And this is just super, super interesting, right? What I didn't know, Los Angeles is one of the only places in the States that supplies school children with free musical instruments. I mean, that's fucking huge, right? That is so huge. But you've got just a few repair shops that handle all of that for 80,000 students. That's a lot, right? That is a lot, but it is so incredible. You know, being supposedly the recording capital of the world, it makes sense, but it also makes sense when you think about like oh shit, I cannot remember the word, but it is things you want to put in place to help influence people's lives, right? We talk about, you know, violence and mental health issues and just all of these things, but there's ways to nurture, right? And I think music is a huge component of that. So giving out free instruments to school students makes perfect sense, you know? and just giving them that opportunity, right? Because obviously it's what you do with it, but knowing that that's an option is frigging huge. So it's interesting, right? We frame it. We have a guy, we don't know his name at first, but he's looking at files, right? And he'll be like, okay, so we get all of these requests in, and you look at them and you'd be like, okay, right, okay. So I would send, it'd be like, oh, the cello is broken. What can we? And he's like, okay, so I send that through. I know who to send that through. And then we go, on the screen, it says Dana Strings, right? And we're looking at Dana Atkinson. And man, so he talks about so many things, right? About finding air leaks, right? The fact that these instruments could, they're from children in poverty, children from nice families, poor like you don't know. The only thing you really know is they all have this love of music, right? Just all have this love of music, which is, yeah. And then we get into a bit of his life, right? That how music helped him, because he I think he's saying like he realized he was gay early on, but he's trying to, because obviously back in the day, it's not looked at as a good thing, you know. So he's talking about how he tried to repress it, but he finally came out at, I think he was 27, but it's the 70s, so everything is crazy, right? But he talks about how music helped, like his mum um referred to music, said it's like swimming, right? If you stop, you sink, right? And you have to just keep on, right? And he looked at music in that way, right? And then he looked at his life in that way and realized, just accept it. I'm going to accept who I am. I'm going to just keep on. And so we get that story. Right, next up, we look at Patty Brass, right? Patty Moreno, and how, man, like she says, she keeps a jar of all the things she pulls out of these different instruments, which would just be like, okay. I mean, some of those things you just think, oh man, where is that? Where else is that thing? Right? But she talks about how music was this big thing for her, you know? Like she moved from Mexico to the States to follow this American dream, got a job at a music repair shop. And the guy took a chance on her, said he's going to give her a week's trial. And then he's like, oh, I'm going to keep you. I think you can do some good work here. So she's there, but you're not making a whole heap of money. And then one of the guys that fixes stuff there, he said, look, there's this course, there's this thing coming up, you should apply. And she does, but doesn't think she's going to get it because she's the only girl there. And they're all much more experienced, but she did. And it's at this repair shop, right, that we're following. And how that just changed her life. Changed her life. Right? So those stories, Dwayne Michaels, right? Dwayne Woodwind, and how a film influenced his love of music, right? Which are just like, oh shit, that's fascinating, right? Fascinating. He joins a band at school, right? He's playing the violin, joins like his friends at school, they play. the accordion, like no, the what's that one? God, that's not the accordion's that, isn't it? Harmonica, harmonica, yes, the harmonica, the guitar, and they form this band, the Boogie Mountain Express. And then the story of that band is insane, right? Colonel Tom Parker, all of the people it's just crazy. But how music influenced Dwayne's life, it's just, man, right? And then, so we're back to our kind of narrator, right? Our guy who's bridging all of these stories. And we find out it's Steve, right? Steve Piano, Steve Bagmayan. And man, his story, boy, right? He's the supervisor there, but he started off as a piano repairman. And he started off in Armenia, right? And it was all because his brother got a guitar and he played it one time. And so his brother gave him the guitar, right? And it just kind of stemmed from there. You know, that when he moved to the States and him and his family stayed with a couple, Ken and Veronica Burgett. And Ken was a piano tuner, right? Which then just, man, that led Steve down the path he's in, right? And he says how, you know, he loved music, but because of the hardship, just because of everything that happened in Armenia with the family and just, man, it kind of took away from him. But with Ken, with Ken giving him this opportunity, it brought him back to music, right? So all of these stories were so different, but they all have this similar thread in them. And on top of all of that, and on top of hearing from like Steve, Dwayne, Patty, and Dana, we have these kids, right? There's a girl with a violin, a boy with his tuba, another girl with a saxophone, a girl with a trumpet, and a girl with a piano. And they're all talking. They're in this concert hall, it seems. They're on a stage and they're being interviewed. And there's a nervousness about all of these kids, right? Some of them are trying to hide it, right? Tuba guy, you know what I mean? He's trying to hide it a little. Trumpet and piano girl are as well. But the sincerity of it, like obviously you can see, you know, they practiced what they're gonna say and all of this, but there is an honesty about it, right? It's not just they're reading from a script, right? This is from the heart. You can tell that because kids, it's harder for them to lie, man. And it's just the facial expressions, those little hesitations, right? You can see the honesty in everything that they're saying and how these instruments have just brought so much to their lives. So much to their lives, right? This isn't a long documentary, people, right? It's like 45 minutes, I believe. But it's just so heartwarming. So heartwarming, right? And the way it ends, oh man, like it's just a lovely little ending. And you're just like, oh, that's so nice. That's so fucking nice, right? If you enjoyed Anthem, you're gonna love The Last Repair Shop. You honestly will. If you like music, if you just enjoy those heartfelt, people centric documentaries, then this is really, really going to speak to you. I'm so glad I stumbled upon this, people. So, hey, if you didn't know about it, like me, I had no clue about this, right? You didn't know about it. Yo, take it from me right now, right here. This is definitely worth your time. Definitely, definitely worth your time. So go check it out. It's on Disney Plus, it's on Hulu. It's The Last Repair Shop.